Good morning and welcome to another exciting edition of Day 4 with the man Frank Scalish.
Howdy.
Recorded show today. Frank's taking care of some business on a Thursday morning, but we're recording it just hours before Thursday. It's actually Wednesday afternoon when we're recording it, but we do an annual show every year, Frank.
We do.
Where is he like the Willy Wonka of smallmouth bass baits? Like you just hope you get the golden ticket to see like a little bit of behind the scenes look, because I mean the Great Lakes Finesse brand has exploded onto the scene, and obviously part of the Pradco Lure Net family deal here, but like is like that small, and then oh cool, we can have all these baits that are readily available, and then they must have just given him free reign because he just keeps coming out with hit after hit.
Yeah,
like the last 2 years, there's been no slowing down in the Great Lakes Finesse department.
No, absolutely not. But he's in a place of the world where he can do so much. They can do so much research on everything because of the fisheries up there.
Well, it's like dark 8 months out of the year up there too, so a lot of time to tinker in the garage, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll get Dan in. We actually have the baits, we've got the bags. We're gonna run through all of that stuff, talk about what's new from Great Lakes Finesse. But before we get to that, I believe for the first time in 2026 was scrolling on the Instagrams and came across a as Mark Zona would call it, a melon head that you captured recently. You were able to find open water and fishable conditions, it looks like, Frank.
Our water's been open now for a while. Our problem has been a massive rainfall. That's been our problem. I try not to fish on the weekends because of a lot of tournaments, a lot of weekend fishing pressure. But I've been fishing on the weekends lately because that's the only days it's been giving me. I called a buddy of mine, Brandon, up and had a hunch about a place, and we went there, and the wind conditions got what they said they were going to get. The rain runoff happened. Water conditions were not ideal, but we absolutely plastered them. It was
winding.
Dude, no scope, man.
Just winding.
Oh yeah, just chucking chatterbaits, man. And
how big was that one that you caught?
It was well into the 5 pound category, and then Brandon got a really good one too. And but it was so typical traditional fishing style. I mean, all we focused on was dead bulrushes. We focused on dead bulrushes and dead lily pad stems, and the bass were in them.
Dude, you know it's a good one when it's got that crease in the belly.
The
crease in the belly is a dead giveaway that it is an absolute tank. Plus, it's got the little notch on the top of the head where the eyeball sticks out.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
dude.
You can't make that fish look small.
No, you can't. No, dude. And I was very surprised. I'll be honest with you. I didn't think it was that good when I hooked it. Like when I hooked it, I said, oh, it's a decent one, but I didn't think it was that good. And then when I got it up to the side of the boat and actually saw it, I started laughing. I looked at Brandon, I started laughing. I said, oh, dude, this is a junk.
We won't dive super into that, but it did bring up when I saw that, and then you just mentioned that, it did bring up a show that I feel like we need to put on the to-do list. Really good feedback from our big, ugly, nasty, giant spinnerbait show, which actually came out before Jason Christie won on a big, giant, ugly, nasty booyah spinnerbait. But a booyah melee, chatterbait, there's a bunch of different brands that are out there, but I would love, because I struggle with this too. I was just on the water with Kyle Patrick this past week, and you know, we were alternating between a spinnerbait and a bladed jig. And I would be curious, is there enough meat on the bone there to do a show on when you go bladed jig and when you go spinnerbait?
Yeah, there's enough. There's absolutely enough. You know, we did that cowbell thing with the big spinnerbaits. I made another one before I left for this lake. that we went to, I made another one because all my big blades were on 3/4 ouncers, and I wanted one on a half so I could float it better in the water. And dude, I oversized the tar out of this. I used a covert frame for it,
Yeah.
and I put a 6 Willow and a 4.5 Colorado on it.
Oh my God, could you even reel it in, Frank?
Dude, it's so impressive, man. It floats in there, and the blade just goes whoom, whoom, whoom. But the lake that we were on, there was something going on there where it had this sludge on anything hard in the water, wood, dead lily pad stems, bulrush stems. It had this sludge on it, and if you touched it, it would engulf the whole bait. And so when I first started throwing that big spinnerbait, dude, I was like lobbing it up there and sliding it in, and every time it would get garbled up, with all the gunk. So I couldn't slow roll it the way I wanted to. And my buddy had caught a couple on the bladed jig, and so I went offshore a little bit to get to some of the ledges to do jerk baits and stuff, and they just weren't there. Like everything I saw on scope, all the gizzard shad were on the first break off the bank, which is weird because that's usually where they go when they're going to spawn, but the water temperature was too cold for them to spawn. But they were already there, so they were telling me the bass were there. Yeah. And so we just made the adjustment, and it turned into a good day. But the spinnerbait didn't play that day for me.
Bladed jig.
Which is unusual because that lake's a big bladed spinnerbait lake.
Speaking of blades, GLF at the Classic dropped the long-awaited SPYBAIT. Before we bring Dan in, let's just take a gander at this artistic. Just take a gander at this. Gosh, these videos are so good. Watch this thing underwater.
Oh, dude. Well, you see the unique thing with the black one. You saw
that's why we got Dan on, because he invented it. But look at that. Looks almost as good as the camo craw that sold out in about an hour last Thursday.
Yeah, sorry about your luck, man.
I was in California and was on the beach, and it's a 2-hour time difference. We were in the morning on the beach setting it up for a campfire on the beach in Huntington.
Looked like Huntington a good time.
Trust me, it was. And by the time I logged in, it was already too late.
Sorry, man. I got a couple. I'll get you one.
Okay, that's it. All right, let's bring in Dan Miguel, Great Lakes Finesse. I know he's been making the rounds. I saw him on Smallmouth Crush the other night, chatted up with EE and Travis, who I know is excited about this stuff. Thanks for jumping on, Dan. Greatly appreciate the time. Kind of an annual tradition where you come in and kind of break down what's new with the GLF brand.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me, guys. I know you guys appreciate this stuff. So,
yeah,
it's fun.
All right, let's start. So there's a number of different things in it. We have some terminal tackle stuff. We have some different sizes, some different colors and things. But the bell cow of the 2026 release, I have bell cow. Cowbell spinnerbaits.
Got it, dude.
Tying all together, the spin, the blade of the spinnerbait with the SPYBAIT. You got to be a pro to tie all that together with a. Dan's never designed a bait over like a 32nd of an ounce. So when you were saying 3/4, he had no clue. That's why I didn't bring him in on that. Let's talk about this thing. You got him.
Yeah.
We've got him in the hands. The stay pinned SPYBAIT, big hit at the Bassmaster Classic. You weren't selling them at the Bassmaster Classic, but always had a group around it. Walk us through GLF's entry into the highly competitive SPYBAIT game.
Yeah, I mean, we love fishing SPYBAITs. I think every smallmouth angler in the North will tell you that it's one of the best ways to get a bunch of bites, and especially big bites, but they've got a reputation for losing a lot of fish. I mean, for us, it's always a bait we have tied on, but when we're fishing tournaments, it was always the last resort. So we'd pull up to a spot and we would try to catch them on anything but a SPYBAIT, because the landing percentages are horrendous.
They are.
It's really just the nature of the bait. You know, 2 small treble hooks. The way they bite it, usually they just kind of eat half of the bait, and then when they jump, I mean, they've got so much leverage, that bait. Here, I've got one here. Normally when they come in, they bite it from the back, and they just, a lot of time they just get this guy and they'll start throwing it on that first jump. You just lose so many fish, and we just lost so much money in tournaments and lost faith in going to them unless it was like, you know, we've exhausted all other options, and then we have a conversation. You know, Matt, who I fish with, you know, we almost have to ask each other for permission before we throw it. Because,
Can I throw it, dude?
Yeah. So for us, I mean, and then, you know, spy baits have been around for a long time now. People know about them. They know they get a lot of bites, but now everyone's chasing another trend. And we kind of circled back and went, look, we still love fishing these, and, you know, what can we do? So 3 years ago, now it's like 3.5 years ago, we set out to fix the problem. And, yeah, we went on this journey to create the ultimate spy bait that not only gets as many, if not more bites, but also a spy bait that will keep them pinned and we can have faith in. And I'll tell you, that journey has been crazy. It's hard to design a spy bait. Let me just say that.
Show how that the top hook works.
Yeah, so the biggest feature and the name of the bait, the state pin spy bait, kind of tells you exactly what it does. But it's got this top breakaway hook. It's a double hook, and what it does is when the fish bites, you set the hook, and that hook will pop out. And you've essentially got 3 treble hooks now on this tiny bait that's like just shy of 3 inches, and we just don't lose them anymore.
What is that? Number 8?
It's a number 10 on top, and then number
10.
8. Yeah. So these are BKK super slides. We wanted, when we were designing it, just like anything GLF, we want it to be tournament ready right out of the package. So we went with, you know, triple strong split rings. We went with BKK super slides. We got a custom hook that isn't readily available, but we're going to sell these in a 6-pack, that top hook. And, yeah, just the finishes, the mat, the eyes, the mat blades, you know, something that's another thing that we kind of discovered, you know, testing a bunch of different colors of blades, like gold, silver. We went with like painted. We tried, you know, a lot of the really bright ones, and we found that these kind of dullish metal blades were actually getting us more bites than, you know, a silver blade, which is typical. So fish side by side, we felt like that was contributing a lot to getting more bites. And then we also incorporated this gill through technology. So under the mouth, there's a hole. The water, when you're retrieving this thing, it swims fairly straight, like relative to other spy baits on the market, which swim very noticeably nose up. This one will swim just slightly nose up, and it's the perfect angle for that water to get into this mouth and then through the gills. What it does is it creates a really unique vibration on the bait. And I think because they get in behind the bait and then they're feeling the bait before they bite, that unique vibration kind of sets it apart from other spy baits. And then it also creates a bit more drag. So you get better feel of the bait. You can see there in that video, it's swimming almost horizontal, which I think contributes to why it gets as many bites as it does.
Yeah, I agree with the horizontal thing a lot, actually.
Yeah. And, but the better feel and the more drag. So having that drag allows you to fish it a little bit slower. You're not going to save, 30 seconds on a cast, but those extra 5-10 seconds on a cast could mean the difference between that fish following to the boat or you get it to bite before it gets to the boat. So a bunch of different things that I think make this an incredible spy bait. So yeah.
And is that okay? I'm thinking of jerk baits, right? And there's guys who, horizontal, slightly nose down, all that. And the more of a guy is a jerk bait guy, the more he is, from what I've experienced, the veterans are painfully aware of the attitude and positioning of the jerk bait in relation to translate into bites. Is this the case of a big smallmouth following and tracking this bait for 30 feet and then turning away at the boat and committing 10 feet into that follow? Do you think that has, like, I know there's a bunch of different factors, but in your mind, how important is the attitude and the angle of the bait in getting pressured, wary, clear water fish to commit?
I think it's huge. It looks natural. These fish are sight feeders, and unlike other species of bass, we want it to look as natural. Even when you look at the position of that two-pronged hook, and it took us forever to figure this out, but it almost looks like a small fin on the back. So it's kind of, they can't really quite tell that it's not that little fin that's on the back of like a little minnow. So yeah, overall, the look, the angle, a big percentage of the development of this bait went into getting it to swim straighter. A lot of the early prototypes swam more nose up, similar to the other baits on the market, and we weren't satisfied with that. So that's why it took us 3 years, plus a lot. There's just so much that goes into these. And initially, the original solution was like, how do we fit another treble on the bottom? I just wanted a bait that had 3 treble hooks, kind of like our jerk baits. I always choose a jerk bait that has 3 because I want a better chance of landing the fish. But after pretty much being told to stop bothering them, our engineers were like, it can't be done. And I was like, well, I'm not happy with that answer. And I'd gone to Japan several years ago, and I bought a bait with a hook that was on top of a hard bait, but it was held by a magnet. And I was thinking maybe we can add a top hook. And then we went through magnets and clips. And at one point, we even had a TPE fin built into one of the prototypes. Like we went through, oh man, it had to be well over 30 prototypes before we finally landed on this version. But Tyler, who works with us, the guy does an incredible job. He's able to take ideas, and I'd say he invented that top breakaway hook system. And then part of the process, and we had to keep it really secret, was we ended up patenting. Well, we filed the patent for that top hook, because you can imagine that could be a valuable feature on other baits in the future.
Yeah. Frank, these things really kind of came to prominence in 2013.
Yeah,
is kind of when it came out. That was just a year or two after you were off of kind of the main tour, but still fishing. What's your experience with the spy bait? I know that you're pretty familiar with these things. But...
Yeah, exactly what Dan was saying. I hated to throw them because when you get a good one on, your fingers are crossed all the way to the boat. So I started experimenting with adding double split rings to them and doing all kinds of stuff to get the hooks away from the bait. And the problem, the problem with those baits is they're so
finicky,
particular on to keep that action the way it goes. The minute you put the other split ring on, it changes the whole game. They barely move because there's too much metal hanging down at that point. They barely move. It was very frustrating for me. I even tried double split rings and even smaller hooks, but that's a freak show and a bad deal waiting to happen. And so to be honest with you, I got away from them. Like literally I got a box of them in the basement, and I'm like, they're not even going to go in my boat because I'll figure out another way to catch them because I can't.
I was fishing the open the last year. They had co-anglers on St. Clair, and I had my buddy Darren with me, who's kind of taught me how to tournament fish when I was 13, 14. I was ADHD kid, and he's like, oh, you can fish with me because he just enjoys self-inflicted punishment. Anyway, long story short, he was out with me, and I was right kind of around the minnowing time and stuff. So I'm up there scoping, and he's just bombing a spy bait and catches some really nice ones. So he gets a good draw on the first day, and he comes in and he's like, dude, I should be leading this damn tournament. He's like, I had 5 bites today, and it was a 3-fish limit. And he goes, and I only landed 3 of them, and I jumped off like 2 5-pounders on the spy bait. Yep. So he goes out, but he was still in good shape. He goes out the second day, and when we come back, that's all he was throwing the entire day. He just was bombing it out of the back, staying out of his pro's way. And he comes in the second day, and he'd only took 3 rods with him the first day, and he's got 2 rods, and a spinning rod is in 2 pieces. This is true. We could get him on to tell this story. And he weighed in 1 fish for like 411.
Oh.
And I am like, what's up? And he's like, I don't want to talk about it. And he just tosses everything in the side of the boat, and we get back, and he goes, dude, He goes, I had 8 bites today. He goes, the very first one, he goes, I landed it 411. He goes, every other fish, he goes, I jumped off. He goes, not like, oh, I think I got one. Oh, I think I'm, and then it comes off. He's like, got it. Boater's going, one of those, where did that come from? Bombing a spy bait way out there. Lost 7 consecutive fish in a row. Gave me all the rest of his spy baits in his tackle box. Snapped his rod in half after the 6th one, so he couldn't technically throw it anymore the remainder of the day, and literally caused him emotional, mental, and financial damage. True story. We could get him on and tell it. I mean, if I wouldn't make him relive it, but he would have won the co-angler side by a landslide if he had just gotten 3 in the boat each day.
That's just, see, that's why I quit throwing them. And then when we went to the Classic, because Dan, you told me about this, but I never saw it until we went to the Classic. And when I saw that top hook thing, I was like, oh man.
Okay, walk me through this, Dan. I'm looking at this bait, and this one's it's got it, but I'm seeing you have the hole on the chin, you have the holes in the gill plates, you have very specific weighting on it, you've got the design on the top, it locks in with the hook. You said this thing took 3 years. What I'm curious is, like, walk us through those 3 years in a reasonable amount of time. But I'm curious, like, what did the first prototype look like to get to this? Because when it comes to GLF, this is kind of your first, like,
there's the box of
isn't
them.
this kind of your first, like, real foray into, like, the hard bait world like this?
Yeah, I've got some pieces. These are more the midway through the development, so I'm not going to show those. But basically, let me fix that.
Oh, you teased us with prototypes?
Yeah. I was going to show those, but sometimes we might use ideas for later. So
okay, that's fair.
That's smart.
So I don't necessarily want to give away all our secrets, because sometimes in failure you do figure things out that could be used in the future. But essentially the first version had like a magnet with a split ring. We also had a treble hook where one of the prongs would go into the bait, and that's how it would sit there. It was too wobbly. Going through the process, I realized, like Frank said, you make any little tweak to the bait, a spy bait, and it changes almost everything. Like the angle. I'm talking about the most minute little things, which you would never expect, will completely change the balance and the way this thing performs. So out of the gate, I wanted slightly bigger trebles, because I always wanted to put bigger trebles on my other spy baits that I used to use. We all know which are the top spy baits up until, in my opinion, now. but I always wanted. But so right out of the gate, if we're going to call it the stay pin spy bait, I really wanted to have a bait that was balanced to slightly larger treble hooks, how I would want to fish them. First year was concept 3D printing. We were starting to fish the original one the first summer, literally 3D printed parts. They were white, just printed white material. They were biting that one. So we're like, okay, sweet, this is working. They'd fall apart. The balance, the shape still wasn't perfect. Second summer, I had Tyler come up and fish with me for like 3 days just to like completely work on this bait, different prototypes, different versions. He came up with like this tray just full of different prototypes that he'd been working on planning this trip. He'd never been to Canada. He had to buy a passport, get a passport and everything to come fish with me and do this. And at the end of that trip, we kind of figured out the blades, the shape, what we wanted to go with, which prototype made the most sense. And then the third year, which you saw was last summer, that's when we actually filmed. So all this was filmed like last year. And even though the versions in the video are still actually prototypes, they aren't final production versions. The paint jobs have improved even since that was shot, but we need to get that shot because we, like you said before I came on, we live in the dark for 8 months of the year. So we can't be out there.
You make up for it in the 4 months that you can fish though.
Yeah. So, that was the process. It was like tinkering, 3D printed versions, going through a bunch of prototypes. And then when we finally landed on this top hook, it was getting the pressure right, getting the angles right, getting the little cavity it sits in, filing the patent. There's a lot that goes into it. just nailing down all the components, making sure it's balanced, a lot of tank time, a lot of video, like slow motion video, analyzing. And here we are. And honestly, I didn't even think people would care that much. I thought like, okay, we're solving a problem. We know it's a problem. Does the general angler know it's a problem? I don't know. And
people that fish them knew it was a problem.
My buddy Darren knows that it's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were actually selling. I had a handful to sell, like not a handful, but like, 300 to sell at the Classic. I thought, that's going to get us through 3 days. We'll sell 100 a day. People within like an hour and a half, we were sold out. I had to hold some back each day just so that the next day a few people could like get some. But kind of like your reactions, I know, when you first received them and when Frank actually saw it, even though like we talked about it and the video was out, when you see them in person, you're like, okay, it just clicks. You're like, this
is for real.
It's the deal.
It's for real.
When you see the hook pop out and how you put it back in and how the pressure is dialed in so that it's the perfect amount that you can set the hook, it'll pop out, but it won't pop out if you're casting or setting the hook and missing a fish. Like all those little details, come through when people truly put it in their hands. They're like, hey, this thing is going to catch them. So
yeah, I was impressed. Like, not to sound like a whatever I'm going to sound like, but there's a lot of things that don't impress me in our market. When I saw that, I'm like, wow. You know what I mean? Because I had the same problems that everybody else had, and I couldn't tweak my way through it because everything I did, those baits never ran again. And so I quit throwing them. And when I saw that, I was like, oh my God. I was like, man alive. Because here, look, let's be honest. You say, oh, it took 3 years and we did a lot of trial and error. It took a lot of engineering and a lot of figuring out. I mean, it's not like go downstairs and open up a spinnerbait, take the blades off and put new blades on it. This thing took some serious ingenuity, and the fact that you put the bigger size hooks on it was even way better.
Yeah. So, honestly, if you hook 10 fish, you're going to, in my opinion, you're going to land over 9. It's somewhere in that mid 90s%, I think. Yeah. I feel super confident landing
with the right setup, with the right.
Yeah. I mean, you can't have like a medium heavy rod or anything, but like we use our 7.8 or 7.4 medium light rod, something to absorb some shock. I like fishing it with like 6 or 8 pound test fluorocarbon on attached to braid as my main line. Usually that's 5 or 8 pounds max on my braid. And yeah, you can long bomb this thing. It tracks really straight. Last year I gave 3 black ones to Jason Christie for his St. Clair event. He just never even threw it in the water. You know how that is, right? 3 days of practice. They don't have time to be tinkering and playing with stuff they're not familiar with. I asked him, he's like, I never even threw them. I had a tournament in September and I was kind of embarrassed, but I asked for them back. I was like, I need those for my tournament. I had only had like 2 left. So, so he was kind of laughing at me. And after I got him, I didn't tell him when I asked for them, but I said, when I received it, I was like, hey, thanks for sending those. Just letting you know, if you truly knew what you had, you would not have sent those back to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, no, for me, I'm just excited to fish spy baits with confidence, land on that first spot. And that's going to be a bait that we pick up right away.
I'll say this, it's a situational bait that is oftentimes, and Frank's talked about this. We've done a show on spy baits for Lake Norman spotted bass, that type of stuff, but it's often put into a box. I mean, if you're a guy who's fishing Santee Cooper, there's probably a decent chance that this isn't going to be number 1 in your arsenal. But if you haven't fished it, if you're on any, I mean, they work all around. They actually work too good in Oklahoma because they catch whatever's around the docks, including every crappie, bluegill, 14-inch or 2. Like you can't sometimes make a cast without it because everything wants to eat it. But if you're new to it, if you haven't tried it, your finesse setup, long, soft rod, and Dan has a lot of great videos out on the Great Lakes Finesse on the YouTube channel. There's also stuff on the website that he's got too on it. And it is, for as complex of a bait that it is, I think the beauty is in its simplicity. Frank, you would agree if you watch how Dan reels it in. There's no twitching. There's no secret cadence or retrieve to it. It's almost like that Cinco with the new person who you say, what do you do with it? And you say, you cast it and you don't do crap. Right. Cast it out, rod tip at a certain angle, and just slowly reel it in. Am I off base on that? Like if you're new to them, this is an intimidating bait to me when it first came out and I started going up north, just because I didn't grow up with it in Oklahoma or Illinois.
Well, but to be truthful, there was no videos on it.
It was kind of one of those secret northern things.
Yeah, I mean, there was no videos. Nobody realized that you had to throw it on the light line to get it to wiggle better. Guys were overlining them, and they were dead sticks coming in the water. Mm-hmm. That was the whole key to the light line, was to make sure they shimmied when you reeled them in. And it was, a lot of guys you could throw them on a bait caster if it's a light enough setup, but that's probably not optimal.
Yeah. No, I agree. Even myself, first time I ever used them, I was like, I don't know if I'm doing this right. But yeah, I just cast it out there and reel it straight back. You can count it down. It weighs 1/4 ounce. And we designed it so that it's perfectly weighted, where it's going to shimmy and stay perfectly horizontal on the fall. So on slack line, it doesn't like fall nose first or tail down. It's perfectly horizontal. So all those little details. But yeah, I thought it was just a smallmouth thing. Honestly, I didn't know until I went to the Classic. And everyone was buying them from everywhere. That show really opened my eyes. Two things I learned: that, man, largemouth and spotted bass anglers use them just as much as us northern guys. The other thing I learned was we thought SPYBAITS were somewhat of a secret, and only like some of the top guys were throwing them. But everyone knows about the power of a SPYBAIT. Matt and I were looking at each other like, hey, we really didn't have a secret here. So
and also $17.99 available now on that. Use code BTL25, 15% off regular. Really quick before we move on from this, Frank, I want to play a game with you, and then we'll see how close we get it right.
Oh,
we're gonna do Great Lake Finesse, Dan's top 3 masterpieces in his mind. So if you were to say, hey Dan, give me the top 3 baits that like you're the most proud of in the line in order, give them to me. So we're both gonna guess, and then we're gonna see how close we get it to Dan. Because I think I've got 1, 2, 3 in order, but I will let you go first.
Okay, so now hold on a second. I have to say in order of how they came out, or in order of
right now. If you were to say your top 3 masterpieces, like if an artist, if an art gallery was to say you could have your top 3 things that you're most proud of in order, what are the 3 GLF products in the history that they've launched in order?
Okay.
I think it's pretty easy in my opinion, but I'm curious to see.
Okay, I'm going to go with the Stay Pin SPYBAIT is number 1. Juvie Craw 2, and Hover Minnow 3.
Okay. I am going Stay Pinned number 1. I'm going Sneaky Underspin number 2. And I'm going Snack Craw number 3.
Well,
Dan?
I think Frank was probably the closest.
Oh!
So these are all, there's some honorable, I mean, they're all,
yeah.
You know, masterpieces in my mind. There's some honorable mentions, but yeah, just based on the challenges a lot. So I'm going to say based on effectiveness and challenges that's my criteria. The Stay Pin for sure now is number 1. It was so hard to do. There were so many times where we had given up, and then one of us thought of something that fixed it, and we, by some miracle, we're here today with this bait. So that for sure is number 1. The Juvie Craw is number 2. Very similar. I'm a huge tube fisherman. I've won probably more money on more money on tubes than really anything else. So the Juvie Craw to me was something special. It
'Cause
doesn't look.
you had a lot to figure out with that too, if I recall.
Yeah, that one for sure. Up until now was by far our most challenging product to build. Like this isn't something that is easy to replicate. There's probably only 2 or 3 companies in this industry that could pull this off. So I think that's why no one's knocked it off yet. And it's not easy.
You have 6 pages of 5-star reviews.
Yeah, it's super.
And people
popular.
don't leave reviews if they like it. They only leave reviews if they,
Honestly,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People are always asking me like, why are people leaving so many reviews? And I don't know. I appreciate them. Everybody who's leaving reviews on our stuff.
Okay,
like,
so Juvie Craw number 2.
Juvie Craw, the sneaky underspin, just because it is the lake vacuum, and it's the one that I think really put us on the map early on. It's just so effective. Anyone can fish it. It catches literally anything, not just bass, walleye. I mean, I'd argue that it's even better walleye bait than it is a bass bait. It catches trout. I catch brook trout up my cottage. Like anything that swims will eat this thing. Pairs with a drop minnow. But the other one that I think is like truly special to me is our mini pro tube head. And I think it's so simple, but it truly, I still to this day don't think we could have made a better tube head. Just the way it performs since day one, it continues to be an incredible tube insert that when they bite it, for whatever reason, they just do not come off. It's the way it sticks up, that hook, everything about it. And most people don't even realize, but like there's so many little tiny details in that jig head. Most people look at that like a competing brand would look at it and be like, oh yeah, we can make that in like 10 minutes. The little, like when we were designing this, it came down to like millimeters on things. And like including, you know, you look at that lead, I mean, obviously giving away a bit of a secret, but like the lead distance to the eye intentionally is that exact length because we want the eye to barely poke through the material of the tube to reduce the amount of gunk. Most tube heads on the market, that little the line tie, that little arm is just way too long. It pokes way out and you're just going to be dragging up gunk. And
not only that, you slam your knot into the rocks more.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a whole bunch. It looks worse. Yeah, more break-offs, more gunk. There's just so many things that go into a really great tube head, and yeah, it fits our Juvie Craw. So, but it actually came before the Juvie Craw, and then we built. People love that tube head so much; they continue to love that tube head. It's a bestseller, pretty much with every retailer that has them. And then we're like, well, we need a tube to go with it, and that's what started the Juvie Craw.
Congratulations, Frank. You're pretty dead on.
The hover minnow is great. I think for me, the hover minnow, and I've got one here, that one was also very challenging, but this is a love-hate bait. People either love it because they understand how to fish it, or they hate it because they're like, I don't get it. And it's kind of a little bit lost in the world of minnows a little bit because there's so many minnows out there, and people don't realize it's got that concave belly and it's not supposed to roll. I've been on the boat with anglers before that have put them on and they're used to that rolling action.
Trying to shake that sucker.
They're trying to shake it and they're like, oh, it doesn't roll. I'm like, we never designed it to roll. It's not supposed to roll. It's supposed to twitch, kind of like a little jerk bait. It's supposed to glide. It's supposed to spiral on the fall. We were developing this before the minnow craze even was a thing. So we weren't trying to chase a rolling minnow. But I think everyone's kind of fixated on that rolling action right now. But the guys who do know about the hover minnow, like I get people who are like, it's the best bait I've got. And I've got other people who are like, I can't figure it out. So if you don't want to figure it out, if you haven't figured it out, go watch the video that we put out.
Yeah, exactly. Or stop trying to do so much with it and just let it do its job.
Yeah, I think it would have been huge had the rolling minnow not kind of stolen the attention because of the success it had in a handful of tournaments. They kind of spurred that minnow craze. But yeah, the hover minnow is still like you can just reel it without twitching it. You can just kind of twitch it. It'll dart back and forth. You can drag it on the bottom. A lot of people don't realize, but you can drag that thing. It always lands on its belly, so you can drag it along the bottom like a little minnow scurrying along the bottom. And something that we do is when we're using forward-facing sonar, if we're twitching it and it's kind of darting back and forth and we see a follower, we'll just slackline the bait, like just stop any tension, let it fall to the bottom. It'll spiral to the bottom, and then it always lands on its belly. So you could just kind of like barely move it on the bottom, and those fish will nose down and grab it. So a few little secrets for that bait, but it was a good guess though to think the hover minnow. I think it is a great bait, but they're all really good. The snack craws caught us piles of giants, especially in cold water, early season, later in the year. It's amazing, and it's incredible. Jig trailer, it's become a staple. Probably more so a jig trailer for people than it is just a little Ned style bait.
All right, and then
That's pretty slick.
On to the. Did you have some new colors that came out in the micro drop minnow and the drop minnow and stuff too?
Yeah, we came out with
that
3.
Is the perch one of the new ones? Because I grabbed a box. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that's it there. It's so slick. So we added perch. I don't know. We're northern smallmouth brand, and we never had perch. So talk about a big miss.
Well, this will be this will be big in Oklahoma. This will be used in 0 to 6 inch visibility water in Oklahoma for gigantic crappie.
Okay, perfect.
You want to talk about giving away trade secrets?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you've been a big proponent of the hover minnow for crappies. Just the way they.
If you just rebranded it, it'd be the number one. It'd be like top 3 crappie plastics in the country. Just straight rebrand it. Just put a crappie instead of Great Lakes on it. Done deal.
That's funny. Then we added IU, which is kind of that like greenish color that everyone knows about. Actually, this was all our pros, like our Elite Series guys, wanted this color. They were like, you have to have it. Same thing with this Pro Blue Red Pearl. We added that color as well. So that and iridescent as well to the dropkick shad.
Okay, the swim bait in typical Great Lakes Finesse, it is.
I like the big drop kick.
Yes, it is a very unique. Walk me through like the head shape and the eyes on that, because in and of itself, a 3-inch paddle tail, kind of this type of swim bait. There's a lot on the market and they work. They all work. We've all known they work and they do it. But I've never seen. I call it like a frog head. That's not disrespectful,
like a goby,
is
man.
it? Like a goby head.
Yeah,
it's goby.
It's kind of like a goby. It's inspired by like a little goby. We also wanted the extra height so that we could have bigger eyes. That was important to us, was having bigger eyes. The biggest thing is that other baits in this category are super soft. So there's other baits that have typically performed well, but they're, as soon as you set the hook, I mean, you don't even have a bite. You set the hook, the bait's ripped. You can't use it.
You get one fish per Kitech is what Dan is saying without saying it.
Yeah, or one aggressive hook set.
Yeah, you set the hook, and then the fish doesn't eat it, like they just nip it, and then they don't come back and eat it, and you wonder why, and then you reel it in, and the bait's halfway down the shank of the hook. So, first problem that we solve, and the biggest feedback we got from our little guy, which we launched last year. This is the 2.75, and we just came out with this 3.25. So this one just launched. So yeah, really good. Kicking action without, being soft. The matte finish on it was really important. But the biggest thing for us was we like drop shotting these little swim baits, and we'll kind of drag our drop shot, and these things will kind of kick in this like same level. And so it's got the true neutral buoyancy. So it doesn't sink, it doesn't float. It sits perfectly horizontal. So you can hit a target, you can shake it.
Same as the drop minnow.
Same as the drop minnow, exact same material. It's incredible. Like, guys are fishing beds.
Walk me through this though. Oklahoma, I saw this. You mentioned the softest stuff. To me, these look like fantastic Alabama rig.
Yes.
Baits. Like that you rig one and you don't have to mess with them, constantly super gluing them the whole 9 yards.
That was a big reason why we came out with this size, is because we A-rig a lot. And, we use like the Flash Mob Junior a lot up here, which is by Yum. And that thing is amazing. Yeah. So this is like the perfect swim bait for that style of fishing. You cast it out and you don't have to worry about, is your bait still on there? Is it torn? You can just cast with confidence, knowing that it's good. So like a lot of the colors too, like this is a confidence color for us when we're fishing a Flash Mob. It also opens up other kind of trailer options, like a vibrating jig trailer. There's other options, swim jig trailer. Stetson Blaylock on our team wants to use these on spinnerbait. So
yeah, so like the swim jig trailer. So a lot of guys down in Matt's neck of the woods and down south, they throw the swim jig with a craw or a pork chunk on it, and they shake it like mad just underneath the surface. But up here, we slow roll them like swim baits. I mean, that's what we do with ours. So yeah, 100%.
That's what you were talking about there, Dan, is the neutral buoyancy on the drop shot, right?
Yeah. When it's on the drop shot, it doesn't sink and it doesn't float. We just released another video.
Oh, geez, that looks sexy.
Yeah, it's so good.
Oh, you've got another one on. Do you have another one on?
So I'm going to give everyone a tip. People always ask me about double eyes. So we got the sneaky underspin and then the drop kick shad. And they ask me, do you pull the eyes off? And I personally don't. I feel like I get more bites with the double eye. And the reason I think that is I think that when the fish is coming from the side, they think the fish is almost looking directly at them. And I think it triggers like an instinctual predatory response. Kind of like with our jerk baits, we want our jerk bait to spin around and almost look at the fish. And there were some old balsa baits that I used to fish that when you slackline them, they would kind of float back up and then turn and look at the fish, and that would trigger bites. I personally leave the double eyes on these when I'm fishing them on a jig head with eyes, and it's just personal preference. It messes with a lot of people's brains. That's my theory on it. I think it works better. So
yeah, don't let it mess with your brain. They don't care.
Yeah.
I do have a color. One of the cool things that I got, we talk about colors a lot on this show. And Frank, I would like to get your take on one of the ones that I thought that looked really cool is that really translucent clear color. What is your experience, your thoughts? And then I'd be curious to what Dan said too on that kind of see-through plastic. You don't see a ton that are that transparent.
Well, there's a few things why that's very cool. So for one, even though it's that transparent, it will reflect a pile of light in clear water because of the ribs on it and the sparse metal flake, which is another thing I like about it. It's sparse. It's not overblown. The other thing about that particular color there is if you were to take a chartreuse dye pen and dye the back chartreuse on that would come through the belly as a very muted chartreuse color, which changes the way that bait looks in the water. That's the intriguing part of that color, especially to me, because it's versatile.
Are you a fan of this color, Dan?
I'm a huge fan. It's actually a color that I discovered in Japan. It's got to be like 10 years ago. I went there for the first time and was in awe. And I bought a pack of baits that were kind of this color. And I went through them like almost within an hour throwing it. So I was like, hey, if we're going to do this, we need this color. I saved a couple and we copied it. The other reason why we made so we have this color in some of our other baits, like the drop minnow and stuff. Mm-hmm. The biggest reason why we started making this drop kick shad in this color is because we were getting a lot of requests from anglers on the Finger Lakes. I guess there's this window in the summer where their bait fish kind of, this color just goes off. Like it's the best color. I think
they're the alewives.
Yeah, I don't quite know, but we had some dealers and we had anglers who were like just saying, hey, like this color is amazing. I need this in the drop kick shad. And we're like, well, let's add it. So I think it makes a lot of sense. Generally, when I was looking for a clear pattern, I was using more like the clear shad, which is that one there, or like our gizzard shad, which kind of got like a purple hue. But yeah, this is just another clear water option for anglers that I think will do really well.
With all your baits, it seems like, I just watch on it. The main thing to me is rigging it. Frank's all about details. Like everything that you have in your lineup works as used as long as you're rigging the damn thing straight. There's nothing that drives me nuts more than seeing these ultra balanced baits that are not rigged perfectly straight. Pet peeve.
Mine too. I gotta be honest with you.
Yeah.
I have literally, you know how when you're on the water and you're catching fish and you're in a hurry, your hands are wet, it's cold out, and you go to put the thing on and it slips a little in your hand and you get it on the hook and then you're looking, it's like, oh man, it's kinked a little bit. I literally tear them off and put another one on because that's how much that drives me insane.
And it stays straight. These are the Dropkick shad. It costs more to do this. I know this is a pain in the ass for the companies to do this, is to put them into the bubble packs.
Yeah, but that's so money, dude.
Yeah.
You need to, right? With a swim bait, it can't be kinked out of the package, otherwise it won't swim right. So it was mandatory. Some of our baits we were able to get away with just like a tray insert, but that needed a custom molded clam. What's nice is you can, if you got a bunch of these, you can take them out of the bag and just leave them in that little clamshell. And then when you can reuse these baits, you take them right off the hook. They'll still perform well. You put them back on another hook so you can kind of save them. You can put scent in those clams. If you want to scent your baits and marinate them a little bit. Yeah. Some little secrets, but
it's Haku juice.
Well, the thing I like about this one especially is that when I'm fishing them, I just put it in my front pocket. If I know I'm going to be catching a lot of fish, you just take one out, put it in your front pocket. You're not diving in your lockers all the time in the boat. That's what I like about them. And they keep the baits perfect. And so you don't have to worry about destroying them.
All right. I was happy to see that Frank had some over there. I got my boxes yesterday when we got back there, sitting outside, and there were 2 boxes. Did you get 2 boxes or did everything come in 1 box, Frank?
No, I got a funny story. So I bet
it's the same funny story as mine.
So I got 2 gigantic boxes, and one box came in, and this not the lures inside, just this plastic bag. That bag that Matt's holding was the only thing in one of the boxes.
I have no control.
Like packing. It was like all this high-end packing stuff. And I'm like, what is this? And then I'm like, oh, someone freaking stole the product out of this bag.
That's exactly what I thought.
And then it gets to the very bottom and this sucker's in it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. And so I said, oh my gosh. So I got the shipping label. And I threw everything out on the table and started checking everything off to make sure I got it all. But I got these little bags. This is insane.
Walk us through that. So there's 2 of these, and then I didn't think you could have like a revolutionary bag like this. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to hard sell this, and I didn't even notice it until I started messing with it.
It's waterproof.
Well, we'll get to the point. Yeah, we'll get to walk us through the terminal tackle, because I've never seen this before. It looks like a normal bag, but it's a Ziploc and a zipper.
Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty good product. The biggest thing is, so last year we set out to solve our terminal tackles problems.
Right. With the wallet.
So this is our terminal wallet. It allows us to fit any kind of bags in here, even, stuff that isn't our stuff. Like, we want it to fit pretty much like everything. We solved our terminal problems, which was, keeping everything in good shape, keeping it organized, keeping it compact and small. These were a big hit. And people were asking us, okay, like, you use these for terminal, what about your soft baits? And we'd use other stuff. Honestly, a lot of our stuff was in some of the stuff was in Ziploc, some of it was in, we really love this style of bag. And we started really looking at our storage, and we're like, man, we really love this style of bag. But the biggest problem is that, you put all your stuff in there, it's organized, but by the end of the day, when you're actually whipping through there, everything gets really disorganized. So we set out, again, we like to solve problems. We set out to build a bag that you could actually have dividers in them. So same thing, but those are Velcro dividers that are adjustable. So you can take them both out. You can move them around. You could have, jig heads on one side. You can have plastics on the other side. So this is kind of our medium one. That's kind of just like our popular size, just all around. You can fit a pile of soft baits in there, line, whatever you want. I'll kind of talk about the bag real quick, and then I'll get into the large size. But we wanted, so they're not cheap. I'm going to start with that. but they're built durable. When we set out to make these, we were like, we don't want people to just buy a bag and it lasts 2 years. We were like, this is a buy it once and it lasts you a lifetime. That was the goal. We think that it's going to achieve that for anglers. The zippers are super high quality. They're, essentially like that waterproof zipper.
Yeah.
They're tight. When it's sealed, it's, bare. If you squeeze on it, very little air kind of comes through. So it, falls in the water. It'll actually float. But really the biggest differentiator from other bags on the market that are similar is those adjustable dividers. And I mean, it's game changing because stuff just stays organized. You can find stuff so much faster. The second one, that's our medium size. We've got a video on all these, but yeah, they're really, really well made. Like we didn't cut any corners. It was like, how do we make the best, longest lasting bag that you can get? There's other bags on the market. They're cheaply sewn. They're going to fall apart on you. Like this thing is durable. The second one is the larger bag. So this is you'll notice it's thinner. What we were going for here was we wanted the exact same footprint as a standard tackle tray. So that 3700 tackle tray that most people are used to. That's the most widely used one inside. Like, when you got those slots in your bass boat or any kind of boat, you've got this compartment and they fit in there and they slide right in, or like a tackle bag. So this will slide anywhere and fit anywhere. A standard tackle tray will go.
Yeah, wait until the saltwater fly guys get a hold of this and they put their little foam in the bottom of it and put all their tarpon flies in it.
Yeah, I mean,
as
you can see.
Go ahead.
You see in that video there, you can see, so I've got like a box of jig heads, and then another box of pre-rigged baits, and then I've got plastics on one side. So you can just see like the organization options you have there when you've got those dividers. If you didn't have the dividers, it's a mess. And stuff just gets thrown around. And we were finding that we were spending a lot of time just digging through these bags and looking for the right plastic or whatever. So anyway, these are the GLF bait bags, 2 sizes, and it kind of complements our terminal wallet, which has been a smash hit. People love that terminal wallet. It's one of the, on LureNet, it's our top selling product right now. People
and little trick, like if you have like a thing of jig heads or anything afterward, that are just raw sitting in a box or anything, take that little silica gel pack that's in the bottom of every one of these little things that cubs, and throw that in with it. It'll wick away all the moisture, keep your stuff from rusting. That's
a great tip. I do that too. I used to use rice, and then I get rice all over my bass boat.
Yeah.
When it's hot, something smells delicious.
Every time I'd open a tray, it'd be like the rice is flying all over the place.
This has to be up your alley, Frank. I've been in the boat with you. I have seen you. This is the tackle organization stuff is the stuff that you look for.
Yeah, that's my OCD gene coming out.
Yeah, and then this bag here, which is a more cost friendly tackle bag solution. It's got the zipper, which is kind of that watertight zipper, and it's also got a zip lock as well, so double tight. So if you got like toilet paper or documents or SD cards or obviously baits, anything can really go on these, but just an affordable, clean option for anglers as well. Personally, I like the bait bags like these. They obviously cost more. They're just more modular, easy to kind of store in the compartments and stuff. They don't take up as much space, but all these options are great. So we feel like we've got anglers covered now for what we like to use for storing our soft plastics and other things in the boat.
Yeah, these things drive me crazy because I figure out how to reorganize everything all the time. So now I'm back at it again. Thanks, Dano.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. No, I hope
the terminal wallet took me 3 days to figure out how I wanted to lay it out. And after I did that, I can't even. It's amazing. I've got all my tube heads, my Ned heads. I've got everything in there, and it's perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah,
it's nice, dude. Because when I got to take everything out, I just grab it by the hand and go. It's there.
Sweet. Well, glad you like it. We love it. People compare it to like those old like CD, or we used to like burn our CD.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah.
So that was like the best solution for storing CDs, and now we got the best solution for storing terminal tackle.
I
like
forgot all about the CD players, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Kind of
my
aged
God.
myself there, but.
Well, I could have
cool.
said 8-track tape, and then I would have been screwed.
Have you done a GLF Derby yet? I know that all the other companies, they have like the, you know, the frog only tournament or something. You need to do a GLF Derby only up there up north where it's just GLF products. I would roll up to Thousand Islands for that. Maybe we could get Frank out of the house.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that'd be fun. We've had so many people reach out and say, like, tournament organizers, and you know, we've thought about it. Yeah, I love fishing the tournaments. It'd kill me not to fish it, right? I feel like it's a conflict of interest to fish your own tournaments. So,
I would be disappointed if you didn't fish it. We
Well,
get
what
to
if we
fish
won?
against the guy who created and founded, did all that stuff. I mean, that's the ultimate. Hey, we beat Dan.
yeah, maybe it's definitely with everything on our radar, like our to-do
I
list.
know.
It's you know, maybe one day. I wouldn't rule it out right now, but yeah.
Fantastic, dude. You got to be proud of it. And every year you come on, it seems like you've finally been like, oh, the lineup is complete. And then you continue to add more and more. And especially with, you know, I know I get a little glimpse into what Frank's working on. That's like, he doesn't even show me, but he'll be like, drop a hit and then be like, but I can't say more. And I'm like, come on, Frank. And then a year later, he's like, remember when I told you about, like, I can't imagine what you've got in the labs there at Great Lakes Finesse that you're working on for the next couple of years. So excited to see it, and always appreciate you coming on. Like I said, if you want to watch any of the videos, you can either go to LureNet. They have a lot of them too. They're also Great Lakes Finesse website has some more videos, some more ways to rig it. You've been on a number of different shows. You've been on BTL too. You can go back. We've talked about how to fish a lot of the stuff that we talked about today, and then obviously use that code BTL25 to get 15% off on all this stuff. It's high end quality stuff at $17 for a spy bait in today's day and age. It's brand new. When it came out, that's below market value. I feel like that's on the lower end of what you're going to pay for a high quality spy bait.
Yeah, no, I agree. No, I appreciate all that, guys. Kind words. Education side, we just released our finesse boot camp. We're about halfway through the season, so if anyone wants to learn about just finesse fishing techniques, we built out a 11 video series that people can go to, and if they watch every single one, I guarantee they're going to be a better finesse angler in general, not just smallmouth. But that was the goal. It's not even about pushing our baits. You know, there's competitor baits in there. Just really trying to educate people on these styles of fishing, because I think that's missing for a lot of people. So
yeah, I agree with that. I can agree with that.
Yeah. So
thanks, Dan.
Yeah,
Dano,
thank you guys.
As always.
See ya.
Good job, man.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
You got it.
Cool stuff.
Oh, dude, the time and effort that they put into their product development is insane. It's insane.
Yeah, 3 years on that one bait. All right, now let's bring in Braun Strowman to the show.
Hey, bud.
Does that mean anything to you,
What's going on,
Frank?
guys?
It means nothing to me.
That's Braun Strowman.
You're so proud of yourself for that.
That's Frankie.
I love it.
Oh my
There
god.
he is.
Oh my god.
There he is.
You gotta trim that a little closer to the face, bro.
Dude, I need some time where I'm not working,
You get in a bar fight, it
which
takes
right
a guy
now is an
3 punches
impossibility.
to
You know, the
reach
last time I
chin.
launched my boat was day 2 at Rayburn.
Guy's got to hit you with 3 right hooks
Can
to
you
get
hear
you
me?
bone.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
The last time you fished was at Rayburn.
Yeah,
That sucks, dude.
Yeah, it's super unfortunate, but what are you
Yeah,
gonna do?
Grand here in a
I'm
couple
moving.
weeks.
Our company finally launched. Like, we were out shooting with the police department today. It was fun.
Something else is fun that we have coming up. I'm gonna actually get to see you back-to-back weekends.
I can't hear Matt.
You can't hear me, but you can hear.
You can hear me, but you can't hear Matt.
Correct. I'm gonna leave and come back.
Well, Frankie's gonna leave and come back because he has some important issues to talk with us about. That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
There's
At
no way. I mean, he does look exactly like Braun Strowman with that.
Yeah, I'm not going to deny. I wish he'd trim that closer to his face, to be honest with you.
Well, I think it's kind of intimidating a little bit.
It is very.
He said that he's not going to shave until he wins an Open.
We're gonna.
I'll tell you what. I've given my wife numerous heart attacks over the years by saying that exact thing. You want to we're 99.8% male listeners on here. If you want to know how your significant other genuinely feels about your facial hair, and you're a bass fisherman, let's say you're experimenting with something or something. Tell them, whether you're fishing like the club championship, Toyotas, BFLs, the Opens, that you're not going to shave until you win the championship. And their reaction will, one, tell you what they truly think about your facial hair, and two, tell you what they truly think about your abilities on the water.
Outstanding. Frankie's got you now.
I think he can hear me now.
I'm not shaving, dude.
You don't have to. I don't
No
care.
shot. I already know what she thinks of it. She hates it. She's been telling me that for the last 4 years.
All right, it's okay.
But yeah, back-to-back weeks. Got the Bassmaster Open coming up in a couple weeks on Grand Lake. Then we go up to the first week of May, St. Jude Bass Classic. The T-shirts is closed. We did, I think, over 200 T-shirts for BTL and St. Jude. We've got over 180 people that are fishing the BTL and St. Jude online tournament, which runs through the 15th. You can still get in on that on the last week. Before that closes on the 15th over at Fishing Chaos. And Frankie and Juice are doing a very cool thing to raise money for their team as well, which is a little bit of a collab, and I will throw that up right now. That is a auction site that it's color7.betterworld, BETTERWORLD world, betterworld.org. I'll have the link in the description for this show. Perfect. And you can bid on how many are there? Explain what we're looking at here, Frankie.
All right, well, we're looking at our 10 custom color number 7 spooks. I've been talking to Pradco since the classic. They provided these photos. Obviously you guys saw them because you signed them. What they're also going to do is get different packaging for them. So they're going to be a special St. Jude edition, numbered packaging 1 through 10. So what you see there is when you're on the main screen, I went in and added the numbers so it's easy to find. If you want to bid on number 1 or number 10, or you got a lucky number, have at it.
So you could bid on either 1, but you could also bid on 7. So you could get the color number 7 spook signed by Frank and then devalued by myself, which I notice I put BTL afterwards whenever I sign at the classic, so people don't get home and go, who the hell was that? They always go, oh, BTL, got it.
Oh, you're funny, dude. I love how you pretend people don't know who you are.
I think color number 7 is going to go for the most.
I think 1 and 7 might rival each other.
Yeah,
I think so.
I think so. I think 7's going to be the most.
But anyway, those are available. When's the auction start? When does it end, Frankie?
The auction starts at 9:30 Thursday. So
the 9th.
Today.
April 9th.
Today in the morning?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thursday morning.
Yeah.
Today.
When you're
link
watching
is in the description for the YouTube show. Also on Juice's, Jigs, socials, Frankie's socials. I'm sure Joe will throw it up there. But primarily, just click the link in the description. Then how long does it run for?
It runs for a week. So it'll close. Well, it's like, 8 days? It's like the 16th it shuts down at like 6 p.m. Eastern.
Fantastic. That's awesome. That's really
super.
Cool. Really cool setup that you have there.
Well, I appreciate you guys. I mean, you guys signed them and, allowed us to utilize it. And, you're helping me get on here today. So, we're doing much better this year for the Jude, Juice and I.
That's good, man.
Yeah, we talk about what it is. I'm going to pull it up right here. So this is the website for it. And when we talk about the raising money, this is what it is. So if you click register for the tournament, well, you go down here, you can see the amount of money that is raised by each team, which then goes directly to St. Jude. So there's a lot that goes in the last 2 weeks of the tournament. So currently, 3 weeks out, $437,644 has been raised. That then
Incredible.
goes down into individual teams. Glenn Walker sells jerseys every single year. He's already raised 53,000. Like here we are, Bartuzek. Like then you can click on the team. So this is like Bart and Bass Talk Live. Our goal is 50,000. So we have like his stuff from when he did his fundraisers, his silent auction. We'll have the t-shirts that'll go in there. If you want to make a direct donation to anybody's team, you can also go in and click on that. The link is also in the description of the bio on that. But that is where the money that is raised for from these baits, from the t-shirt, from all that goes to the individual teams. So it's a friendly competition between teams to see who can raise the most money, which then impacts your takeoff number in the tournament. So it's a brilliant way to raise money and then also get a better takeoff number, which is important in tournament bass fishing. So
yeah, little added competition.
You know, I appreciate it. You know, we've been talking about this pretty heavy for the last month and a half, and we'll continue to do it on that. I know I'm really proud our team this year just passed $100,000 with just me fishing with Bart in that tournament. BTL listeners and viewers and Crappie Chronicles over $100,000 over the past 4 years, which is quite frankly badass.
It's pretty good.
And you guys are way up there this year too.
Yeah, we're doing really good this year. We've gotten some help, you know, from our buddy Joe and stuff, and the collab between him and Juice, and now us.
Juice started asking some of his cognac sipping and cigar smoking buddies for some pocket change. Well, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's all right. Hey, at least it's going to the right place.
Dude, those looked really good. Did you take all those pictures?
No, Pradco did all that. Shout out to Pradco and the boys.
Amen.
Amen. Color, if you're listening on iTunes, color 7, the number 7 .betterworld BETTER world.org. Today, open for a week, 1 through 10. You can bid on whichever one that you want based on, I'm sure based on how crisp all the signatures. Oh, that's a good one of mine. Look at that. That's a crispy one. Frank says Frank's can sign 1 million of them. They all look the exact same because he's
he's like a human printer.
No, that's because
he's never
I'm going to tell you why. Because in college I had to take mechanical drafting, and all of our letters had to be 1/8 of an inch high, and if they didn't all look the same, you got docked points.
I bet you never got docked a single point, Frank A. Scalish.
No,
oh no, I got docked a few times.
No.
There you go. So thank you to Pradco. I know they do a great job too with the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame, raising money for that, and now jumping in on this too. So
I appreciate you guys as always.
Hey, dude, have a good one.
Yeah, you too.
Save that money up. Those 3-week road trips. I'm trying to squirrel away everything I can.
Oh, dude, tell me about it. And I'm closing on our new house in Tennessee on the 17th.
Oh, lovely. Well, sometimes when you get your mind off of the fishing, you don't put too much pressure on the fishing, and then you're like, thank God I just made it to the lake, and then you just go out and catch them without putting too much pressure on yourself.
Right.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
You're amped up to get out and go catch something.
Oh, I can't wait. My boat's my garage has got boxes everywhere. It's a mess right now.
You're going to drive down to the tournament. You're going to look like Sanford and Son.
Yeah, it's highly likely.
Like Santa Claus robbed a boat dealership.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. See ya.
Adios, buddy. Bye.
If you just took Frankie's head and then flipped it upside down and combined it with your face, it would look like you had an afro.
What is wrong with you, man?
Not giving anybody an idea out there, drunk wood.
Oh, come on. He's a dangerous man.
not a discussion for today. But I did go fishing on Tuesday.
You guys racked them, man.
No, that was a different time. I went fishing on Tuesday. If you've listened to the show, there are a couple people who caught up on it. The regular Monday through Wednesday show, and I've been dropping some hints over the last couple months. And we'll close the show.
Oh, yeah. My bad.
Cliffhanger.
My bad.
I took Randy Blockett live scoping.
That's right. You did. I forgot about that.
And no one believed that they were real photos. But when the 3-part series with the 4-hour interview drops, it's hard to AI that.
Yeah, no kidding. That's gonna be fabulous, dude.
It was a good day. Enjoyed
Yeah,
the
that's
heck
gonna
out
be
of it.
fabulous.
So, Dan Miguel, the
Great Lakes Finesse.
well, I was trying to say, I didn't want to say, how do I say it? The brain behind Great Lakes Finesse, the mind, because I know he works with other guys, but it's also his company. He's still on the show. Like, Dan, when I bring you in, like, how he's muted. I don't know if I could unmute him now.
There
There he is. Okay,
Hey.
so like if I say, are you like the owner, creator, the brain, the mind, the inventor? Like, how do you like to be referred to? Because then I know you also mentioned other guys that you work with there too. Like if you the most comfortable way for you to be like introduced as like blank Dan Miguel blank Great Lakes Finesse.
Just co-founder, part of the team. Takes a whole team to make this stuff happen. So that's it. Honestly, I really don't want to take all the credit because I ask so many people for opinions and advice, and yeah, everyone at Pradco right now just makes things happen that we wouldn't be able to do if they weren't helping and contributing. So
because Frank asked referred to as a genius.
Yeah. I mean,
remember that whole thing? That was like lasted a year and a half.
I know because Mark asked the question and he says, "How do you come up with all that?" I said, "I don't know. I'm a genius." No, I said it's easy for me. I'm a genius, is what I said. And it's stuck like glue. It's stuck like it's stuck like your stay pinned.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, we'll close it out now. Dan Miguel, part of the team at Great Lakes Finesse. Thanks for jumping on.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.
I'll see you again, buddy.
See you guys.
Yeah. All right. We're just down to me and the genius.
Oh my goodness gracious.
How do I open the show? I say the man, Frank Scalish.
That's what you say.
Yeah. Do you have a nickname? Like people call me Panger. People call Frankie like either Frankie or Junior. Like, do you have a nickname that like your buddies call you that's not just Frank?
Nothing we could say on air.
Jump on, Bet. I was really impressed with this. I looking around the website, that was really cool that they took the photos and then have them numbered 1 through 10. If you weren't able to get to the classic, we still have some that we're going to give away. Did you get the email from the guy who won the last one last week?
He already got it.
You already got it. Sweet. We do have some more of those on our hands.
That's from the gentleman from Wisconsin, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, he got them already.
But if you want to donate to a great cause, St. Jude also, and help out Frankie and Juice needs a lot of help in other areas other than fundraising, but let's stick with fundraising for now. I think it's cool that you could go through, like I'm gone through all these nervously, making sure that I didn't like scribble on any of them.
No, dude, you're good, man.
Yeah, look that.
They're good. They're all
Yours is
good.
just so perfect.
It's not.
I like how the L is always a little bit longer than the I, which gives it a little bit of symmetry. Like it's like asymmetric but artistic. Is that intentional?
Yes. Yes, it is.
And then you do not, and these you did not put the period after the A.
No.
Do you?
No, because the Sharpie was blowing
okay, because I was saying like on our hats, like if you look at the hats, there's look, you can tell that's my fishing hat. There is a period after the A.
But you see how it's signed on the hat where the A is extended longer?
Yeah, the A is extended. Does that balance the L?
Yeah, and then the H, I got the line at the back of the H. So yes, so that's exactly what it does. But with that Sharpie, that tip was, after we signed all those baits and the classic, that tip was exploding on me. Like I would touch it to the bait and the silver would just run out.
I believe I was watching an interview. I think it was the Serious Angler guys had Luke Johns on, who is a West Coast dude who's been winning a lot out there. And I was watching a little clip of it and I was like, man is wearing a Frank Scalish Signature Series smallmouth hat in his interview.
Outstanding.
Yeah. It was badass.
Dude, that's money.
Yeah. So, all right, Frank.
Matt, till we meet again.
I'm trying to think of what's the Thursday after. I'm all over the place today.
16th.
But good. My eyesight at 41 years old, though, in a year, did not change at all.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'm still.
good.
I don't need any the bifocals yet or anything like that. I mean, I'm still blind as a bat without the contact lenses, but I'm getting to that age where I'm afraid every year they come in there, it's gonna be like the bifocal age. But I'm still.
I never could
still
wear
avoiding
them.
it.
I
Yeah.
probably need them, but I can never wear them because it gets me screwed up with the.
Yep.
Yeah. Nah.
All right, let's hit some music. Come on.
There.
Ooh, there it is. I got the logo keyed up. Same time, same place, next week, day 4. We're also working on some cool stuff to be able to bring some more goods
Oh yeah.
to you guys.
We're working on things. We're building.
Frank and I have probably spent 6 to 8 hours on the phone over the past week.
Oh yeah. We're working on things. That's all we could say.
All right, we'll talk to everyone later. See ya.